Hi there. In this video, we'll cover the DeepTech and AI crypto trio, including FET, ICP, and TAO. I'll, as usual, cover the Wyckoff stage, potential price trend change, as well as key price levels. These are education content only, not financial advice. Let's start with the weekly chart of FET. It is still going through the accumulation cycle, meaning the test run by the whales to check out paper hands isn't over yet. However, the volume has been declining gradually, and the price seeking to the lower point is getting less wild. Okay, even with this week's of war news, whatnot. So, I shared before, the price is getting very close to the orange key level of 0.112. Still far from the red key level. Those two levels are basically this trading range back in the panic over stage of the 2002 accumulation. Right, we are getting very close to that range, and I don't hope to see that it goes deeper than the red line, but as you know, when you follow my sessions, some of the altcoins did go past the previous ice age period, what I call, during 2002-2003. Having said that, if this is really pausing or finding support above the orange key level 0.112, there is a chance for it to come back to re-challenge the green key level of 0.268. That's where the last rebound happened. And in order for us to get a confirmation that people are starting to get back to risk-on mode and that the next distribution cycle may be near, that confirmation has to come with price climb to re-challenge at least the light blue key level of 0.855. Not only that, the volume has to be higher than average of the previous 2 to 3 months best. We haven't seen this yet. Okay, we need to see some volume like what happened back in November last year. So those are key. That's what we call the sign of strength. Price advance with volume. So you see over there, okay, it may retrace, but that's where the whales, check out the last bit of paper hands before they let the price shoot up to the distribution cycle peak. Okay, so that's the confirmation we need before we get to see the next distribution. Sometimes it may be shorter, sometimes it may be longer. Okay, sometimes the retest may go deeper than the previous testing period. That's the Wyckoff big picture for FET. If we go to the daily chart to check the potential price change, price trend change, we see that what we have here is this yellow dashed line, okay, set by the 6th of February. That's 13 cents 60 roughly. The price is still trying to stay above this line. So you can say there's a line right there around where the price closed by these two big candles. But you can see yesterday and today, the price has gone below those close and open prices. So that's why I prefer to use this where the price tested a deeper point around the bottom of the downtrend back then. Currently, it's not going through the same downtrend, but if this continues and break this dash line, this support, I would draw a downtrend channel box over here. Currently, it's still too early to tell because as of this moment, it's still within the sideways boundary of this 13 cents 60 all the way to the yellow key level of 18 cents 40. So it's too early. But if you look at the volume that has been heightened during the entire week compared to the previous 2 weeks, then you clearly see this week's volume is way higher than the average of the past 2 weeks. Combined with the economic data that's lining up, that's going to bring another wave of volatility. Okay? So base case, still sideways over here. Anything better or worse is going to break these levels. All right. So that's FET. Time to go to ICP. ICP from a big picture point of view, a little bit better than FET. Okay. Here, you see the test is still going on, but at least this week it's been up by about 4.5%. It's the second week going up, even though the volume is still a little bit low. So I said earlier in FET is the same thing for ICP, is that the price better go up to challenge. But this instance is the 4.35 green key level for ICP. That's the sign of strength we need. We need higher volume than the current stage, at least something like what happened back in mid-Jan. So if you get in now thinking, okay, it may be the time that it's going to the sign of strength, and it's going to challenge at 4.53, then keep an eye on the volume. Okay, if you got in and the volume is dying down, that means it may still shake around these red key level and orange key level. Okay, 2.05 and 2.80. If the volume continue to build up, it will give you more confidence that is really tracking towards that level. But you can see there are still multiple key levels in between, as well as this not as strong, but still a resistance around the $4 level. That's where the candlestick closed and opened back in the automatic rally stage. All right. Let's get to the daily. Potential price trend change. We have marked these dates. The closest one is in about 3 to 4 days time, 11th of March. So the price currently is edging towards that boundary, right? If the bulls get sufficient support, they can challenge the ceiling as well as the 2.8 orange key level in the next few days and try to finish the downtrend by then. If not, if it continues along right above the 2.05 red key level, and also this dash line over here, 2.24 yellow intermediate level, that points to the mid of April and end of April, 16th and 28th. That means when the price edge towards these triangle tips, it has to confirm, okay, whether it's really finding support above those levels, or is it going to get rejected by the ceiling and break those levels and go lower. For the case of ICP, the 2.05 red key level that it retested twice in February was actually the October 10th tariff announcement date last year, that level, the same level. Okay, it's found support so far, but if it really is going to dig deeper, there's no historical record where that would go. Okay, it's going to set new all-time low if it once again gets rejected by the ceiling of the downtrend and falls below this red line. So that's the danger for ICP. Okay, we don't hope to see that happen. What I hope is it's going to break out somewhere before April finishes. Right. Next, we've got TAO. Bittensor that rose by 7.5% this week, and similar to ICP, that it is exhibiting early recovery sign. It tests the test that it has been going through isn't I wouldn't say isn't much better than a lot of the others, because from here 2024 all the way to where we are now, only the week of October 10th the same thing happened, okay, for almost every altcoin. Some did not go this deep, but for the case of TAO, it did. The same red key level that I mentioned for ICP, for the case of TAO, is $140. It has retested that level again twice in February, same as ICP. Now that it seems to start to recover, going above the 180 orange key level, also the bottom of the long-term playground. What we need to see is, now okay? You can answer this. Increase in volume, as well as increase in price. Where does it challenge? The light blue key level, where the automatic rally tested. Okay, that's $300 for the case of TAO. That's where we get the confirmation. Okay, the sign of strength tells us more people are willing to come back in. Whether there's sufficient demand to push the price to the next, FOMO peak. Last time it went all the way to, 490 almost. That the whales would test. Okay, they will try to shake out people and see how deep that retracement from the sign of strength would go. If people aren't scared and the price doesn't drop any further, they'll let the price launch at that stage. Okay, we're still early. It's not there yet. In terms of daily chart, the price exited the downtrend that started the beginning of the year, technically has finished. And for the past 2 weeks, the price is traveling along the 180 key level. Okay, it hasn't gone as deep as the 140, the red key level that I said it retested it twice in February. So there's a line over here. If this is the uptrend support, the date that's pointing to, let's move it across. So assuming it's going to stay above the 180, not to come back below, because if it comes back below, this is going to tell us whether it is really going to continue the uptrend, or is it going to drop back to between the orange and red key level. That's March 12th in 4 to 5 days time. Okay, assume it is going to stay above. It still has to gain sustained momentum by the bulls to keep it along this uptrend support line. That points to the date of 12th of April. Okay, exactly 1 month after the first window in a few days. Because by then it has to confirm whether it's going to get rejected by the 220 yellow key level, or is it going to break it, like I said in the weekly chart, that it is going to show us a sign of strength. Right? If it got shot down, it's probably going to get back to here, which is understandable because sideways testing is common when the whales try to check out the paper hands. It keeps doing these up and downs until it says, okay, I find no more people willing to sell. Okay, look at the volume now. That day over here, I believe quite a number of people tried to sell, but also the whale absorbed quite a lot of volume. You can see the price spread from the candlestick isn't that wide compared to the neighbors. Okay, but the volume is gigantic. It's about 5 times or even 6-7 times compared to the neighbors. So there was a lot of selling going on as much as the buying, and the buying actually pushed the price back to the 180. So it's a sign that whales are actively doing their work over here. We continuously see much higher than average volume. Even these ones, okay, the average is here. Those are already 2 to 3 times higher. These are 6-7 times higher. So when the numbers, economic numbers comes in by the US, it is going to confirm, okay, whether this trend is going to continue and whether there are people going to push the price of TAO to challenge at least, okay, first stop, yellow key level 220, then 268, and eventually 300 that I mentioned, where the automatic rally challenged, okay? It's not too long ago. It's back in early mid-Jan. Okay, we're getting close. That's not a must, but That's something we need to see. All right. So if you're interested to join the other members to access these sessions 2 days earlier, feel free to click on the join button. Here's another analysis for you. Thank you.